Hello everyone and welcome back to the FRC Historian. Today I'll be making a video on Team 1241, Theory 6 out of Ontario, Canada. Now, after recording my video 2 days ago for that video, the audio was exactly 12 minutes and 41 seconds long, and I thought, this is perfect. I've always wanted to make a video on Team 1241, and now this is a sign that I need to do it. Now, at the end of this video, I will be putting in both a Google form and a question in the comment section, so please respond in either way you'd like to. With a few ideas that I have, both from the most underrated teams forum, I've gotten some more responses, as well as some other ideas that I've had. Please vote on what you'd like to see, and I'd be more than happy to cover it in the future. So mostly so I'm able to cover what you guys want to see. So without further ado, my video on Team 1241. If you do not know who Theory 6 is, Team 1241, they're out of Ontario, Canada, and they've been doing very well in recent years. In 2004 is when they started, and they started off first at the Great Lakes Regional in Michigan, where they went 6-1 in the qualification rounds. They were awarded the Rookie All-Star Award, the highest rookie seed award, and the Rookie Inspiration Award at this competition, doing very well at their first competition. Then they went at the Greater Toronto Regional, where here in Ontario, they went 6-2 in the qualification rounds, won the Rookie All-Star Award and the Daimler Chrysler Team Spirit Award. Here, although not making it into the finals of this competition. If you check the Blue Alliance, regarding this regional explicitly, they will tell you that they made it into the finals, but there's something a little bit wrong with the Blue Alliance algorithm for this competition. Now, knowing this, during the Rookie All-Star Award, they made it to the Archimedes Division at the World Championship in Georgia, where here they were able to make it part of the number 1 alliance, going 4-3 in the qualification rounds, being picked up by teams 33 and 60, however losing in the quarterfinals to 237, 121, and 386. This would not be the end for them, as they would make it to they would win an award on the Einstein Field, that being the Team Spirit Award on the Einstein Field their first year. Now let's move on to their second year, 2005, the introduction of 3-member alliances. Here, they started off at the Waterloo Regional, where they went 11-6-1 overall, where they teamed up with Team 68 and 1305 and became regional champions, where they also won the Team Spirit Award and the KPCB Entrepreneurship Award. First regional, and they've already won a regional. Now, they went on to the Greater Toronto Regional, where here they went 7-1 in the qualification match rounds, where they would become a Regional Chairman's Award winner, as well as a Website Award winner. They would team up with Teams 772 and 1006, being part of the number 2 alliance. However, they would lose against Teams 1482, 773, and 1330 in the quarterfinals, however, due to a small margin. Then they would go to the World Championship off that Chairman's Award win, where here they would go 2-5 in the Curie Division qualification rounds. Let's move on to the 2006 year, where here they started off at the Arizona Regional in Phoenix, where they would go 13-2 overall, where they would team up with teams 987 and 1917 in the eliminations, where they would win the Engineering Inspiration Award, as well as become a regional finalist against teams 1660 and 1897. Next up onto the Greater Toronto Regional, where here they went 7-0 in the qualification rounds, and then won the General Motors Industrial Design Award. Then they would go on to the Galileo Division, where here at the World Championship they would go 4-4. Now let's move on to the 2007 season. In 2007, Team 1241 started off at the Waterloo Regional, where here they would rank 3rd, going 11-5 overall, where they would be the captain of the number 3 alliance, along with teams 610 and 2076. They would win in the quarterfinals, winning 1, losing the 2nd, but winning the 3rd. Then they would move on to the semifinals, where they would be beaten by the alliance at 854, 1006, and 1305. Then they would move on to the Greater Toronto Regional, where here they would rank 14th, going 9-6 overall, where here they would, along with teams 1305 and 854 as part of the number 3 alliance, they would upset in the semifinals, beating the alliance at 379, 48, and 1006. However, they would be defeated by the dynamic duo of 2056, 1114, and 176, becoming a regional finalist in the Delphi Driving Tomorrow's Technology Award. Let's move on to their 2008 season, where here they would start off at the Waterloo Regional, ranking 11th, going 7-6-1 overall, where here they would, along with teams 781 and 854, as part of the number 7th alliance, where they would tie their first match, lose their second, and lose the third, the 68, 2013, and 188, becoming regional quarterfinalists. Then they would move on to the Greater Toronto Regional, where here they would rank 5th, aligning with teams 781 and 1565, where in line they would, as part of the number 4 alliance, win their first match, lose the second, win the third to become onto the semifinals, where here they would lose both matches to 2056, 1114, and 2166, becoming regional semifinalists. Let's move on to Lunacy, where here they saw the Finger Lakes Regional in New York, where they would go 9-6, be part of the number 4 alliance, along with teams 229 and 1626, losing the first match, winning the next two. Moving on to the semis, where against the other alliance of 174, 188, and 1507, they would lose one match, win the second, however, lose the third, become semifinalists. Then they would move on to the Greater Toronto Regional, where here they would rank 25th, going 6-7 overall, and as part of the number 5 alliance, along with teams 854 and 1334, they would win their first quarterfinal, lose the second, win the third to become onto the semifinals, where here they would lose both matches to 2056, 1114, and 2185, however, they would win the Imagery Award. Next up onto their 2010 season, here they would start off at the Finger Lakes Regional yet again in Rochester, New York, where here they would rank 12th, going 8-4-2 overall, be part of the number 2 alliance along with teams 250 and 145. They would win both quarterfinals, go into the semis where they would unfortunately lose both to 610, 191, and 188. However, they would win the KPCB Entrepreneurship Award. Next up onto the Greater Toronto Regional, where here they would rank 9th, aligned with teams 2634 and 2809, where here they would lose to the number 2 alliance of 2505, 1310, and 188, becoming regional quarterfinalists, as well as an Imagery Award winner. Then they would move on to the Archimedes division, where in the Archimedes division at the World Championship, which they'd gotten back to, they would go 2-4-4, ranking 41st. Next up on to 2011, where here they would start off with the Waterloo Regional, where they would rank 8th, going 7-4 in the qualification rounds, be part of the number 6 alliance along with teams 1535 and 2200, where here they would get out in the quarterfinals against the third alliance of 3683, 2625, and 781, winning the KPCB Entrepreneurship Award. Then they would move on to the Greater Toronto East Regional, where here they would be part of the number 3 alliance, ranking 3rd in the competition, where after going 8-2 in the qualification rounds, they would, along with team 2626 and 3117, they would best the number 6 alliance in 2 matches, then go on to the semifinals where they would lose to the alliance of 1075, 188, and 1006 in 2 matches, becoming regional semifinalists and Engineering Inspiration Award winners. Then they would move on to the Buckeye Regional, where here they would be part of the number 1 alliance, ranking 30, along with teams 781 and 1126, winning both quarterfinals, winning both semifinals, losing the first final, winning the second, and losing the third by 3 points to become regional finalists against teams 3010, 3138, and 1559. Here they become regional finalists, as well as the Imagery Award winners. Next up onto the Curie division, they would rank 1st, going 13-2 overall, picking teams 2056 and 368, winning both quarterfinals, winning the first semi, however, losing the next 2 against 51, 968, and 987, become semifinalists in the Curie division. This would not be the last time that they would team up with 2056, though. On to 2012. Here they would start off with the Greater Toronto East Regional, where they would become ranked 6th, going 5-3-2 in the qualification rounds. Then, as part of the number 5 alliance, along with teams 2809 and 2626, they would get on the quarterfinals against 907, 781, and 1404. However, they would win the Entrepreneurship Award sponsored by KPCB. Then they would move on to the Buckeye Regional, where here they would rank 10th, going 8-5 overall, along with teams 291 and 4085. They would be part of the number 2 alliance, losing the first match, winning the second, however, losing the third, become regional quarterfinalists. However, they would win the Innovation and Control Award. Next up onto the Greater Toronto West Regional, where here they would become ranked 3rd, going 12-3 overall, and then they would be part of the number 2 alliance, along with teams 771 and 907, where they would win both quarterfinals, win the first semifinal, however, lose the next 2 against 2200, 2056, and 4001. They would become the Regional Chairman's Award winners, have a student recognized for Dean's List, as well as win the Imagery Award at this regional. Then they would make it to the Newton Division, where they would go 7-2, ranking 41st at the World Championship Newton Division. Next up on to 2013. Now, this is the season that I knew them for, and a lot of people knew them for several years, up until more recently. If you know what they've done and watched some videos previously of mine, then you'll know what they did this year. They started off with the Greater Toronto East Regional, where here they were ranked 5th, going 13-4-1 overall, where they would be part of the number 2 alliance, along with teams 216 and 43-43. They would win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals to go up into the finals against 11-14, 2056, and 13-25, where they would lose both finals matches. However, this team would win the Engineering Inspiration Award, have a student recognized for Dean's List, become regional finalists, and Imagery Award winners. Next up, they would go on to the Waterloo Regional, where here they would rank 5th, and then be part of the number 4 Alliance along with teams 1334 and 3949, where they'd win the first quarterfinal, lose the second, win the third, going to the semifinals, where they'd be defeated by 2056, 1114, and 4069. Next up, they would go on to the Greater Toronto West Regional, where they would rank 5th, going 10-5 overall, aligning with teams 1325 and 2013, where they would win both quarterfinals, however lose both semifinals against 1310, 4716, and 1334. However, they would win the Innovation and Control Award. Now they would be qualified for the World Championship, where they would start out in the Galileo Division, where they would rank 6th, and here be part of the number 5th Alliance of the Galileo Division, picking teams 1477 and 610. Now, if you don't know how this went, they lost their first quarterfinal, won the next, going on to the semis, where they lost their first against the number 1 Alliance, won the next two, and won both finals matches against teams 3284, 2169, and 2175, becoming a 5th Alliance champion of the Galileo Division. Now, after this, they would go up against the Alliance at 3476, 303, and 1640, where they would lose their first match and win the next two to move on to the finals against the other Alliance at 33, 469, and 1519. Here they would lose the first match, win the second, and win the third to become Einstein champions. Now, if you want to know more about it, I have a video recently, which I will link below, about the 2013 Einstein field. Now, here's where they would become Einstein champions along with teams 610 and 1477. Now let's move on to their next season, the 2014 season, where 1241 would go to the Greater Toronto West Regional, where they would rank 3rd, going 10-2 in the qualification rounds, being ranked 3rd, being part of the number 2 Alliance along with teams 2852 and 3541. They would win both quarterfinals, but would lose both semis against 188, 2935, and 3705 in an upset. However, they would win the Regional Chairman's Award, 2 Volunteer of the Year awards, 2 First Dean's List Finalist awards, and the Creativity Award sponsored by Xerox. Then they would move on to the Greater Toronto East Regional, where here they would rank 14th, going 10-6, where here they would be part of the number 2 Alliance along with teams 3173 and 3710, where they would win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals, however lose both finals against teams 2198, 1285, and 4476. They would be recipient of the Woody Flowers Finalist Award, Regional Finalist, and then Entrepreneurship Award by KPCB. Then they would go on to the Waterloo Regional, where here they would be part of the number 4th Alliance, be ranking 11th, and along with teams 3683 and 4992, they would win both quarterfinals, win their first semifinal against 4039, 1114, and 4907, lose the second, but win the third to upset the 1114 Alliance. Then they're going to the finals, where they would be beat by the Alliance at 254, 2056, and 865. Next up on to the Windsor-Essex Great Lakes Regional, where here they would rank 3rd and be part of the number 2 Alliance, along with teams 1285 and 4940. They would win the first quarterfinal, lose their second, and win the third to move on to the semis, where they would lose the first, win the next two, and move on to the finals, where they would lose to the Alliance at 2056, 1114, and 5288, becoming regional finalists. However, they would also win the Engineering Inspiration Award. Now they'd be qualified for the World Championship, where they would be part of the Cure Division, ranking 38th, going 5-5 in the qualification rounds, being picked up by the number 6 Alliance of 11 and 135, and 68, who they would play with, and lose the first match, win the second, and lose the third in the quarterfinals against 2928, 2013, and 842. Now let's move on to the 2015 season. Only a few more seasons before the competition which I would know them for. Now on to the Greater Toronto Central Regional, where here they would rank 33rd with an average qualification match score of 37.4, and they'd be part of an alliance with 854 and 4777 with an average playoff score of 57.6. Here they would become a Regional Chairman's Award recipient, Woody Flowers Finalist Award recipient, and a Volunteer of the Year Award recipient, getting out in the semifinals because their average playoff score was not high enough. Next up, however, they would make it to the semifinals. Next up on the Greater Toronto East Regional, where here they're ranked 5th with an average qualification match score of 55.9, much higher than the last one. Where here they would align with teams 1325 and 1305, where they would make it all the way to the finals, ranking 2nd overall and average match score, where they would be defeated by the Alliance at 3710, 2056, and 2852. However, they would have a First Dean's List Award recipient, they would become regional finalists, and the Imagery Award Next up onto Waterloo, where here they were ranked 19th with an average qualification match score of 76.85, which is a lot higher than the last one. Where they had teamed up with teams 1305 and 329, where they were making it to the semifinals with an average playoff score of 101.2. However, it would not be high enough to make it to the finals. However, they would become a Regional Engineering Inspiration Award recipient. Next up onto the Carson Division at the World Championship, where they would become ranked 49 with an average qualification match score of 123.1, which is much higher than all of their other ones. Next up on the 2016, and the Robot Black Mamba, they would start off with the Greater Toronto East Regional, where here they were ranked second, along with teams 11-14 and 29-35. As part of the number 2 alliance, they would best the number 7 alliance in both matches. Then go up in the semifinals where they would win both matches yet again. However, they would lose in the finals to the alliance of 118, 2056, and 746. However, not after winning the first match. And they would also win the Engineering Inspiration Award. Next up onto the North Bay Regional, where here they were ranked first and go 18-0 overall, which means that they were part of the number 1 alliance along with teams 13-10 and 29-35, where they had win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals, and won both finals against 13-25, 58-07, and 45-19, becoming regional champions and regional chairman's award recipients. Next up onto the Waterloo Regional. This team would rank 4th, and along with teams 6-10 and 35-60 as part of the number 3 alliance, they would win both quarterfinals, win the first semifinal, lose the second, and win the third against 148, 36-83, and 50-32. Then they would go into the finals, where they would win the first match, lose the second, however, win the third to become the part of the first ever alliance, and one of the only regionals where 2056 has ever not won against the alliance. The 2056, 11-14, and 59-12. 1241 would become a regional champion, Regional Engineering Inspiration Award recipient, as well as a first Dean's List Award recipient. Now let's move on to the World Championship, which they will earn their place at in the Newton Division. They would rank first, as you know. As part of the number 1 alliance, they'd pick teams 254, 708, and 1731. They would win both quarterfinals, win the first semifinal, get a red card in the second, and win the third. And then they would go on to the finals, where they'd be defeated by the alliance of 217, 34-76, and 46-78. They become championship subdivisional finalists, as well as a quality award recipient. And they would have one of their students be a recipient of the first Dean's List Award on the Einstein Field. Let's move on to the 2017 with the Robot Spitfire. Here is when they would go on to the formation of the Ontario District System. Here they would go ranked 12th at the Ryerson University event, going 9-7 overall, 7-5 in the qualification match rounds, where as part of the number 3 alliance along with teams 188 and 35-60. They would win both quarterfinals, however lose both semifinals against 63-78, 26-09, and 50-24. They would become a District Engineering Inspiration Award recipient though. Then they'd move on to the Georgia College event, Georgian College, where here they would be part of the number 5 alliance, ranking 9th overall. Then they would win the quarterfinals, losing the first, winning the next 2, going on to the semis, where they would lose the first, win the second, however lose the third against teams 35-60, 49-76, and 54-06, becoming district semifinalists, as well as the district chairman's award recipients. Then they would move on to the Ontario District Windsor Essex Great Lakes event, where they would rank 4th, being part of the number 2 alliance, along with teams 1285 and 4902, where they would lose their first quarterfinal, win the next 2, going to the semis, where they would lose both against 49-17, 6-10, and 45-95, where they would become semifinalists, however they would win the Engineering Inspiration Award here. Then on to the Provincial Championship, where here they would rank 38th, going 7-9 overall. They'd be part of the number 7 alliance, along with teams 6009 and 46-78. They would upset the alliance at 26-09, 11-14, and 118. Then they'd go into the semis, where they'd lose to 49-76, 49-39, and 2200, becoming Provincial Championship semifinalists. However, they would be a recipient of the Regional Chairman's Award. Then they would move on to the Curie Division, where here they'd be ranked 12th and be picked up by, who guessed it, 2056, OP Robotics, and along with team 384, they would be rank 1, number 1 alliance, where they would win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals, win both finals to move on to the Einstein Field, where here they would go 3-2, losing against Daly, then winning against 1796, 125, and 5687, losing against 3719, 1986, and 3310, then winning against 6710, 58, 2137, and then winning against 3683, 3452, and 2084. Now to the alliance that they lost to, 254, 2767, 862, and 3719, 1986, and 3310. Those two were the ones to move on to the finals. Now let's move on to 2018. We're here in 2018. Nightcrawler, the robot, would go to the Canadian Pacific Regional first. We're here, they would go 16-2 overall, be rank 1 and pick teams 63-90 and 71-73. We're at this regional where they would win both quarterfinals, both semifinals, and then both finals to become regional champions and KPCB Entrepreneurship Award winners. Then they would move on to the Ontario District Waterloo event. Where here, they would rank 4th, be picked up by teams 20-56, and then pick 47-77. They would win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals. However, lose both finals against 36-83, 49-17, and 7-58, becoming district finalists and then Chairman's Award winners. On to the McMaster University event, where here they would rank 3rd, be picked up by 20-56, and then pick 61-35. They would win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals, win both finals against 54-06, 49-76, and 43-08, becoming district winners and then Industrial Design Award winners. On to the Technology Division, this team would be ranked 1st, and going 13-6 overall, picking teams 11-14 and 43-08, winning both quarterfinals, winning the first semifinal, losing the second, winning the third, however losing to 49-17, 54-06, and 49-39, becoming Technology Division finalists. Then they would go on at the actual Ontario Provincial Championship, they would become Regional Chairman's Award winners. Then they would move on to the Tesla Division, where, who guessed it, 20-56 would pick them, and along with teams 28-69, they would win both quarterfinals, both semifinals. However, they would lose a match to 25-90, 26-14, and 7-08. They would win the next two, become championship subdivision winners. Or they would go into the Einstein Field, where they would lose a match to 45-41, 8-68, 4003, win a match against 27, 27-67, and 40-27, lose a match against 2-17, 49-76, 33-57, win a match against 51, 494, and 49-17, and then win a match against 333, 3707, and 195, going 3-2 on the Einstein Field, same as last year, and ranking 3rd yet again. However, they were able to win the eventual world champions against the eventual world champions here. Another great season for 1241. Now on to their most recent season. Theory 6 started off at the University of Waterloo event, where here they would rank 3rd, going 14-4 overall. They would be captains of the number 2. They would be part of the number 2 alliance, along with teams 46-78 and 7800. They would win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals, and lose both finals against 20-56, 36-83, and 56-72. Then they would move on to the McMaster University event, where here they would become ranked 5th, be picked up by 20-56, and pick 60-70, where they would win the event, winning both quarterfinals, both semifinals, then win the finals against 30-25, 54-06, and 63-42. They would also win the Excellence in Engineering Award. Forgot to mention, they also won Quality at Waterloo. Next up onto the Ontario Provincial Science Division, they would become ranked 8th. However, here, something different would happen than last time. They'd be picked up by team 11-14, then they'd pick 7-71, win both quarterfinals, win both semifinals, win both finals, and move on to the Provincial Interdivisional Playoffs. They would become District Championship winners as well as Innovation Control Award winners. At the Provincial Finals, they would win both matches against 20-56, 36-83, and 49-07 to become Provincial Champions. They would also be recipient of a Woody Flowers Award and a Dean's List Award. Next up onto the Curie Division. At the Curie Division, this team would rank 27th, going 8-6 overall. They'd be picked up by the number 3 Alliance along with teams 78 and 177, where they'd win both matches against the number 6 Alliance. However, they would lose both semis against 27-67, 17-56, and 9-7. Become semifinalists. They would win the Autonomous Award by Ford, though. And that is how far 1241 is done. For a long time, we knew them as the 2013 World Champions, but now they're doing increasingly well recently as well, which is awesome to see. Thank you all for watching. And if you'd like to, I would really like it if you would either respond in my forum or more specifically in the comment section, where I'd like to hear what you want me to do next based off the options I give. Thank you all for watching. This has been the FRC Historian.